Hi there, this is the update for my crossed out chart. There were a lot of bugs people discovered that I wanted to fix, as well as a lot of great ideas which I wanted to implement. I'm going to waste your time with self-promotion in the end of the video. So let's just start with all the things added or patched in version 1.1. There were numerous amounts of comments saying that the song didn't load or lagged a lot. Apparently it worked better if you put the mod in a normal Psych engine folder. I've also tried making the porting to a normal engine a little bit easier. One main thing I did to make the song run better is add a low quality mode, but due to missing time I needed to rush that mode a little bit. Now in version 1.1 the low quality mode is far better and actually does a huge difference. Before the patch, low quality simply removed some background sprites, that's it. As an example, Cuphead's first stage had 2 sprites instead of 3, but for the most part there are still multiple sprites, and especially big ones. The bigger a sprite is, the more power is needed. Here, even though here I'm just twice as big as the other one, yet I cover 4 times the area. You get the point? Low quality removed for the most part just small little details, but kept the ginormous backgrounds. With the improved new quality, there's now 1 sprite for each stage instead. This not only looks better than the old one, but also increases the performance massively. The only downside of this is that it doesn't look as alive anymore, because all the backgrounds are static instead of moving. Cuphead's first stage needs 3 big sprites in high quality, 2 in the old low quality, but in the new low quality it only needs a single one. And most importantly, it also now removes a lot of characters, which are the biggest lag cause. Every character has about 5 animated sprites, BF at least 9, plus some extra ones. They cost a lot of power and take ages to preload. Without low quality, there are 22 characters. Cuphead as GF counts an extra character as once, and nothing replaces GF for the most part. However, with the new low quality, there are only 13. Most of the removed ones being BF. This sadly means that a lot of the animations don't work properly. Also, during the dark segment, you can now still see your health. Usually, my computer takes about 17 seconds to load this song. With the new low quality, it only takes 10. Hopefully this helps you play this song. In addition, I also made some sprites load mid-song instead of before the song. What decreases loading time a little bit and might make the song a little bit less laggy too. I think this might improve the performance, because not every sprite is already fully made and persistent in the background. Also, there are no smooth transitions anymore, because anything that involves transparency is hard to render for a computer. Also, something that might cause lags are the story mode images, which are gigantic when compared to normal ones. Now there's an alternate version that looks less cool, but may improve the performance a little bit. Download this one if your computer has a problem with the mod. But please download the normal version otherwise. I've wasted about 6 hours on the main menu, please use it. And also, if the song doesn't load or lags too much, try removing preload.lua in the data folder. This will make your game stutter every time a new character appears, but this might increase your FPS, I think. I've really tried optimizing this as much as possible. Sorry if it doesn't work out for you, but I think that's as far as I can tone it down. There were a hell ton of complaints about hell being impossible, like 9 or so. The main reason being that Bendy kills you instead of lowering your HP. Why? The way Bendy's self-turn works in version 1 is like this. These 2 values become a certain number depending on your difficulty. Bendy Sing max health left is the maximum of how much Bendy can bring you down to, and Bendy Sing health drain is the amount of damage he deals with every note. There was a function called every time an enemy sings a note, and if this enemy is Bendy or any of its variations, it would actually do something. First it synced up the value cur health with your current health. Then it checked if the note hit was a full note, and if your current health value is bigger than the max damage Bendy can deal. And in the end, you take damage depending on how much damage Bendy dealt. However, in hell you had so little HP left that Bendy had a very likely chance to kill you. As an example, if you have 0.05 HP left, which can easily happen, and Bendy sings and deals 0.07 damage to you, you would die. The new version works a little bit different. Instead of instantly dealing damage to you, there are now 2 values that keep track of what's happening. The first value, I suck major balls at coding A, syncs up with the current health. Then the value new health value step bendy stuff is set to I suck major balls at coding A minus bendy's damage. This means new health value step bendy stuff is basically what your HP would be now. Afterwards there's a check to see if new health value step bendy stuff is bigger than bendy's max damage he can deal. If yes, the value is set to be the max damage bendy can deal instead. And finally, your health is set to the value. Thus, instead of stopping the drain if your health is low enough, the game now calculates when, and more importantly where, it should stop before dealing damage. I also added some more parry notes during the final part, because it was way too difficult before. Well, with that embarrassing mistake out of the way, I can now remove the "Hell is currently impossible" from the Game Banana page. Hell mode now also has some new double notes, which makes the song a little bit more difficult. I also removed some notes when Bendy sings in the final part, because I thought the health drain was just too much. Before the update, space is used for both Cuphead's card as well as Sans dodge. If your card was full, but you wanted to spare it for later, and Sans attacked you, you had to waste your card. Now this mistake doesn't happen anymore, making the Cuphead Sans and the final part a lot easier and feel less unfair. All options are now added into the new version, with that also the new note colors. There are now Omega difficulties, which don't have any mechanics. There are some people demanding it, and I wanted to implement this anyway, so here it is. The main Omega difficulty doesn't have any mechanics, easy enough. While the other one has just no space mechanics, and decreased damage from Cuphead. The rest of this difficulty is normal. A lot of you told me, or I saw a lot of you, that had problems with the up-down mechanic, which is way too hard. I added an easy mode that drastically decreases the damage taken, by 75% in easy, 66% in normal, and 50% in hard and hell to be exact. I thought this would be a good balance between easier but not too easy. To activate it, you just have to hold the space button during the countdown. Afterwards, this sound appears. And the attack background is now yellow instead of white, to indicate that you are using the push easy mode. I also decreased the damage from easy, from divided by 2.4 to divided by 3. Also, if you don't want to play with the mechanic at all, just click space 3 times before the song starts, aka during the countdown. Then this sound will appear, and Toby appears at the top of the screen to indicate that you're cheating. From now on, you won't take any damage from Sans attacks. Those options can also be triggered in the mod folder version. I didn't want to implement a new setting, so the easy mode can also be accessed in the mod folder version. Definitely not because I don't know how to add a new option. I also wanted to implement a control setting where you control with the gameplay keys instead, but I didn't know how to do that. There are also two small fixes I wanted to talk about. First, during Gaster's part, Gaster's attacks will now end faster, making the beams cover less of the screen after the attack ends. Also during the super funny attack, the blaster circle is now greater, making it a little bit easier to see where the notes are coming from. LNT actually contacted me on Discord about this, so thank him for that. I also made the final attack in Hell a little bit easier. I've also made a mistake in the video. Was coded by the animator
Señor Pelo
instead of the FNF more.
Señor Pérez.
I have no idea how I messed this up. Probably was rewatching Pelo's Mandela magazine or something. It went completely unnoticed except these two guys. Thank you for notifying me. I had a huge problem with the blaster in version 1, because the image was like 6000 times 8000 pixels large, and made the game stutter a lot. Now I made the blaster work a little bit differently. It's now the same one like from the Abdo mechanic, which improves performance. I also made the blaster appear on the top if you play with down scroll. The same also counts for Gaster's hand. There were a lot of animation errors that would occur, some of which are fixed now. First, Snow Sans didn't have the left sprites in version 1. How did I not notice this? Anyway, it's fixed now. And he also perfectly transitions into Bendy's part instead of falling down again. I tried fixing the 4 running animations, but I didn't really know how. I just delayed in some of the animations now. They still don't really look like they're actually running, but at least it doesn't look like they're having a complete stroke. Cuphead wouldn't play his big shot animations sometimes. I have no idea what's wrong. I also didn't fix it, because everything should actually be fine, but it somehow isn't. I've tried a lot to fix this, but it didn't work. BF also now has a proper death animation. Reddit user glitch code 404 the genius idea of replacing the 3 shots at the end of Tech 7 with a Converge weapon from Cuphead. That's just such a good idea. I've now made the bullets look like a lightning. I also recolored most sprites that had color to be just white instead, to not cause any confusion. Here are some balance changes I made. Bendy's normal hurt notes now look like the original from Indie Cross. The damage in hell now has been decreased to 150%, before it was 162.5%. While the damage in easy has been increased to 75%, before it was 62.5%. Damage taken from Bendy's ink notes in hell also has been decreased to 150%, before it was 175%, and easy to 25% instead of 50%. The stay time of the ink has now been increased by 0.1 second in every difficulty. The main focus of the ink notes is the ink, not the damage you take. Sans notes now also look like the one from Indie Cross. The damage taken is now weaker because they dealt way too much damage before. Now they deal only a little bit more damage than Bendy's hurt notes. And they also have the same state duration in all difficulties. A little bug has been fixed that makes the orange note deal far more damage than intended, and now note trails increase the duration by a fourth of note, instead of a full note for every trick of the trial. Also notes you weren't supposed to hit now increase your misses, which they didn't do before. And finally, your score can now increase or decrease with multiple different things. Hitting a blue note decreases your score by 500, missing an orange note decreases your score by 500, hitting an orange note now increases your score by 250, attacking increases your score by 2000, blocking Sans attacks increases it by 1000, not dodging will now decrease the score by 1000, and hitting one of Bendy's bad notes will also decrease the score by 500. The transition activates now every time. Occasionally it didn't work for some reason. During Sans' attack part, there's now Gaster behind Sans that can be seen very briefly. It's really difficult to see him, because he only turns visible if Boyfriend sings, but he's also out of sight during Boyfriend's turn, and gets more invisible when Sans is singing. You also have to focus on the attacks, so you can't really notice him. I also added this little dude. Yeah, the song is hard enough, I didn't want to give him a dodge event, but he's here too. There's now no weird character transition during the final part. The light on the guitar solo can now be disabled by disabling flashing lights. The card now makes a sound when it appears again. There is a new tutorial screen. If Cuphead shoots, there is now a little bit of cam zoom, and Cuphead's big shot now has less cam zoom. No splashes now have the same look like in Indie Cross. I took them from Game Banana user Foxtrees. There are 4 new achievements: Skill Issue for beating Omega difficulty, 4K Maniac for beating Omega difficulty without misses, wait, that's illegal, for reaching the song on hard or normal without ghost typing, and Geringverdiener for playing with low quality and no anti-annihilating. By the way, I'm going to show a comedically short screen of what Geringverdiener actually means, so don't have to explain it, because it's actually pretty mean. And finally, I added a credit screen directly at the beginning of the song. Hey, you made it through the patch notes. Now some updates regarding me. I've updated my Reddit and Discord profile picture to resemble more my current look. I've updated my channel with a new description and banner. I also now have a new Twitter account, because I thought Unbekannt 79308165 isn't particularly a catchy name. Thank all of you who downloaded or supported this mod in any way. This really means a lot to me. I've watched a lot of videos of others playing Crossed Out, because I'm an ego surfer, because I love seeing people enjoy the things I make. Just alone how everyone is completely overwhelmed with the mechanics for the first time playing, or how everyone starts screaming with the final ball attack. It's just so incredibly funny to me. My video currently has more than 30,000 views. If I search 30,000 people on Google, images like these pop up, which is just insane to think. The mod has gained over 30,000 downloads. Originally, I was going to release another chart if the mod hit 5,000 downloads, but I thought this was not going to happen, yet here we are. Thanks random viewer for watching this video. Because my voice doesn't really allow any sentimental segments, I just put goofy music in the background. I don't really have an outro yet, so I'm just going to add the video here.